going to be rating the Apex Legends in a tier list fashion after the season 29 split. Just because I feel like, in my opinion, it's kind of important. Whatever, But we're gonna try and start off with all the characters that got changes this season, and then move our way to the other ones. So we're gonna start with Ballistic. After Ballistic's buff, or I guess you could say balancing refresh, I feel like he's in a good spot. I just feel like he's not as good as he once was. If anybody remembers how he used to be, he was absolutely insane. So I think that he's in a good spot, and I think that he's usable. But he definitely could use some more buffs. You could even argue that he's in a solid spot overall, but I think he's just usable. Now, as for Maggie, after her nerf, I think that she's also still just a solid performance. I mean, with Gibby not getting any nerfs since his buff, I feel like she's still very usable. And now you just have to be smarter with how you use her, so I'd keep her there. With Valkyrie's very, very slight nerf that she got, I still think she's in a solid performance spot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Who else got changed? Pathy. Pathy. I love Pathy. For those of you who don't know, I am like a secondary Pathfinder main. So I'm actually going to put Pathfinder because he's so fun to use, and I think he has potential to be one of the best skirmishers, but he's just outclassed by people like Axel and Octane. I think he's usable, but could definitely use some more buffs. Um, just because he's solid. And now Axel, speak of the devil, I absolutely hate this character. I think she needs to be nerfed even harder. But I do actually think that the balancing change that they did give her was very nice, and I'm actually going to put her after the nerf. I'd probably put her in solid performance. I think she's above Valkyrie and Maggie, but I think that she's no longer absolutely goated like she once was, just because um not being able to have two attacks with such a short cooldown is going to kind of push her out of the meta. Who else got changed? Conduit. After Conduit's nerf, I think she's in a solid performance tier. I mean, you can't like go against it. The team comp this entire season has been Valk, Maggie, and Conduit, so I'd put Conduit below Valk, but I'd keep her up in solid performance. Seer just got an insane buff, and I actually think that this is gonna push him further in the meta than Valkyrie. Um, Maybe because Valkyrie is easily the best recon, and she's also the best for rotating. So I'd probably put him below her right now, but we might see a pick rate, and he might go up to absolutely goaded. Um, I think that's all for the. Oh no, Vantage. I think Vantage is usable now, but I think that she's in a good spot, and I don't think she really needs to be nerfed. Um, I would probably put her in usable, but I don't think she needs any buffs. Now, who's next? We'll do Sparrow next. I think Sparrow's a great character, super good recon. The ability to hit survey beacons from afar using his tech is very nice. But I think he's in a really bad spot in this meta just because with the maps being I mean with the new split it being E District, World's Edge and I think it's Storm Point. I think that he's gonna see a bigger pick rate increase, but I don't think he's gonna be up here. I think he's above Vantage, but he could definitely use some buffs. Horizon, absolutely goaded. Um, she's in a great spot after her buffs at the very beginning of the season. I think that she's in probably the best spot she's ever been balancing wise, and I think that she is still like a super skillful character. I mean, I can't really say skillful. She's kind of easy to play, but if you go up against a good Horizon, you can pretty much just say GG's. Like she's insane. Let's go Octane. Octane is usable but could use some buffs. I think he's up here above. Sparrow and Vantage, but I think he could definitely use some buffs after the nerfs he received. I think that Axel's whole existence was a nerf to the entire skirmisher class. So we might see an increase in Octane's pick rate now, but we might not. I don't know. His passive is still one of the best in the game. Just being able to passively regen health is awesome. And I think that he's in a good spot, but he definitely does need like a slight buff. Um, what else we got? What else we got? What else we got? We'll go Loba. Now, I am a huge Loba hater, and I think that she's actually useless because if you think about it, yes, her tack is like the only great part of her kit. Her passive and ultimate is like meh, I guess, because it's like loot's good in the very beginning of the game and mid game. End game, she's like one of the most useless characters to have on your team. She can't do anything for you. You know what I mean? And her ult is overall just kind of mid. You know, it's like yeah, it's okay, I guess. Fuse is up here right now. He's very annoying to play against, and I think he's definitely in the bottom of solid performance. He's getting towards that point where they should probably rework him again, even though they just did. But you know, that's just me. Um, I think I think Fuse having a movement ability is really cool, but his new ult is super annoying. Uh, Bangalore. I think that she's usable, but could use some buffs, and I'd actually put her below Vantage to be honest with you, because Bangalore's always been like just a solid character, but where it is right now, she's just not as usable as she once was. You know what I mean? It's like her passive's really good, helps you get out of situations you don't want to be in. Her tactical's really good for that as well. Um, but with all these maps coming out, like E District, I feel like is a very bad map for Bangalore because there's certain spots that are super open, but there's also certain spots where there's tons of cover, so her ultimate is just garbage in that regard. Um, let's go with another character that I don't like. I don't like Mirage. I have almost 1,000 kills on Mirage, and I don't enjoy him. I think that he's also useless or in the bad spot of the meta, but he might also be usable just because of his Invisirez. So I'd probably put him. Oh goodness, usable, but could use some buffs. I'll put him above Vantage. I don't like Mirage. I really don't, but I'll put him there. And then what else we got? Catalyst. Catalyst is a great legend, but I think right now she's in a really bad spot. I think that compared to the other controllers like Caustic, Watson, Rampart, she's outshined by the everybody else in her class, so there's no real reason to pick her. Um, her ult's really good for getting out of situations, but at that point you may as well just have a bang. Her attack is okay, but at that point I think I'd rather have a Watson fence or a Caustic gas because at least with a Watson fence you can electrify doors so people can't get in. They could just blow them up, obviously, but and then with caustic gas, it attacks an area and not just the little strip she puts down. So I think that Catalyst is a good legend, but she's in a really bad spot in the meta. Rampart. I actually really like Rampart. She is my third highest kill legend right now, and I would probably put her in the usable, but could use some buffs, but I'd put her at the very bottom. She's very good in like ALGS. If anybody's seen that, she's one of the highest pick rate legends in ALGS, along with Newcastle. And I can't blame people. Her shields are very strong. Like I don't think a lot of people notice that when you actually shoot through her shields, you do get increased damage. So there's that, and then the ability to have infinite ammo while hiding behind those shields is insane. Sheila is just like a better ballistic passive because then you can kind of just, you know, use your minigun if you need to get out of a situation. If there's somebody holding a door, you can just mow it down. It's Rampart's in a really good legend, but she could use some buffs for the pubs and ranked players. But ALGS wise, she's very solid. Let's go with one of the greatest of all times, Lifeline. Now, I would put her in absolutely goaded, but unfortunately, right now she's not in a good spot. With Newcastle having a great res and Mirage having his Invis-res, the auto res with her is like 50-50. It's good. Like, it's good in a scenario where if you just get out of a fight with a team and there's another team coming, it's very good because then she can res you while she's looting to try and heal back up, which is very good. But with the Newcastle and Mirage, I think Mirage and Newcastle's reses are just better. So, but I will say Lifeline's tactical is very good. Her ultimate's very good as well. I'd probably put her in usable, but could use some buffs right above Sparrow. Um, let's go with Caustic next. Caustic next, just garbage. If you play garbage, or if you play Caustic, you need to get a life. Um, there's nothing like too great about him in reality. I mean, yeah, you can heal using his barrels, but like you're so lame for playing Caustic. Um, we'll go Revenant. Revenant, I think before his rework was really, really good. A little too good, and I think that's why they reworked him. His current kit is solid, but I feel like they need to give him increased movement in the air while he's using his jump because he's really easy to just beam out of the sky. Um, Passive is still good. I think that the increased crouching speed with reduced sound is really well done, and then his ultimate's okay. I would probably put him down here. He's in a really bad spot right now, but I think he could definitely use some buffs, but using him is kind of just asking to get beamed. Let's go with Alter. Very strong last season, and I feel like with Axel being added, she got kind of pushed to the side, but I think right now she's solid solid performance, but I'd put her at the very bottom. Like if I put anybody else in solid performance, she's probably going to get pushed down, but I think she's in a good spot overall. Um Now in this meta, I will say she's not like the best because of how aggressive and go 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 this meta is, and it's hard to play alter aggressive because she's more of like a yeah, you can play her aggressive, but you use her more so to get out of bad situations. So, it's kind of a 50-50 thing. We'll go crypto next. I actually really like crypto. Um Crypto supporter personally, but I think he's in a really bad spot in the meta. I would probably put him above these guys because the ability to insta res if you grab their banner, be able to remotely do things where you don't put your own self in danger. It's like kind of being able to do less stuff, but you basically get a second chance because then you can grab Evo Harvesters, you can grab your teammates' banners, you can respawn your teammates. Like, Crypto's very solid, but you really need to know how to use him to be good. But also, I think he's just in a really bad spot because nobody wants to sit on their drone all game, especially in ranked. Um, Newcastle, very good in ALGS, but I think in the current meta, he's just way too easy to kill. So I'd probably put him up here, but I'll put Loba above him because Loba has a better tactical. He's just like a worse version of Gibby. And speaking of Gibby, I'm gonna put him in solid performance, probably above Seer. Gibby's in a very good spot, absolutely amazing spot, and there's like nothing they really need to do. I think that he's overall well balanced. Maybe give his gun shield a little bit less health, but that's about it. Watson, absolutely goated. Sorry, she has one of the lowest pick rates in ranked right now, and it's so sad because Watson has the ability to get all the support perks, which gives her so much more utility on the team because then she can give you that fast res and that healing that a support character gives you, all while also being able to scan ring consoles and overall just be more of a balanced player than having to risk somebody not being able to give you more utility just because they wanted to play a support. And her ult's really good against Valkyries and Gibbies. Helps out a lot. Um, and Fuse. Watson's an absolutely go-to character and definitely deserves more like respect. You know what I mean? And then we'll go Bloodhound. I think right now Bloodhound is absolute garbage, but above Caustic because that's Caustic. Bloodhound really needs to be reworked or buffed or something. His abilities were some of the best when the game dropped, and now it's like they haven't done anything to change Bloodhound, and it really sucks because um Bloodhound is one of my favorite characters to actually play. I think Bloodhound's ult is super super good. I mean, you basically just get free wall hacks, but that's also kind of just a passive with recons now. So Bloodhound's ult is kind of useless. Wraither Ash, Wraither Ash, Wraither Ash. I will actually put Ash in usable, but could use some buffs right above Octane. I think that she's very strong, but her pounce needs a buff because it's just I feel like it slows you down more than it helps you. But it's very good. Like you can get behind somebody so easily using it, and then her ult is insanely good for pushing people. Her attack is insanely good for isolating teammates. She's in a good spot, but she definitely needs some buffs. Wraith. I've always been a Wraith hater because I never understood the Wraith hype. I would probably put her in absolute goated as well because I mean the portal is just a you can use it offensively or defensively, so you get that like that freedom with it. And then her attack is like a pretty much get out of jail free card as long as you have teammates alive. But her passive is utter garbage. Absolute garbage. But I do believe that is gonna be the tier list. If there's any changes I'd make, let me take a peek. Yeah, you know what? I think I might make some changes here. I would actually probably put Alter down here in like just below Pathy for usable but could use some buffs. And then I think Octane is down here at the top. And I could probably push Vantage. No, I won't do that. I think I'm also going to move Bangalore down here. And here's my reasoning behind that. I think Bangalore. Actually, I'll put her up here more. Bangalore, like I said, bad spot in the meta. She's not good. So many abilities, being able to wipe out her smoke. She's not in a good spot at all. Octane, same thing. He's just not in a good spot at all right now. Who else did I move? Oh yeah, I moved Alter down. I thought about it. Alter is a usable character, but more times than not, you're gonna get walked down. So I think that overall, I would probably put them like this. I think this is where it lies right now. If you don't agree, you can argue in the comments. Come into one of my streams or something. Argue with me there. You know. But hey, that's gonna be the end of this. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.